40K Amateur Hour, and I'm coming to you with a special how to paint Belacor. I ended up with a Belacor pretty cheap off of eBay actually, and so you're going to see his little transformation from what I've got here in front of me in his little pieces to a final painted project that I did in one day. Now, I got the model off of eBay, and subsequently it was a little beat up and not quite fitting together, so I had to do a lot of work on it, and that took most of the time actually rather than painting. But you see here I had to take my file and file down a lot of things, file down off all the nubbins and the little flash, and I even had to file and as you'll see here, pin the model just a little bit because the guy who had it before me just, I don't know, just didn't treat it right, didn't give it the love that a good Deamon deserves. So here what I'm doing is I had to take my pin vise and I had to actually drill holes to where all the pieces fit. The wings didn't fit right, the head had a big gap on it, the legs and where the thigh met the torso just didn't fit at all. I had to really shave that or use green stuff. I ended up shaving it down and using my file to get it to finally fit, but I had to use the pin vise here to make room and make the holes for the connections for all the wings, the tail, and the thighs to work. It's important when you do any of these models, metal especially, not just plastic, but you want to pre-fit these things before you glue them. You want to make sure every piece fits the way you want it, and there's nothing that's going to obstruct it or become in the way like I'm doing here. Once you finally get it, go ahead and glue, and then you're ready to start painting. Well, here's the first Deamon Prince of Chaos in all of his glory, all put together and molded together, and little green stuff here and there and pinned inside. And I'll do a pinning video later for you, but I got him all together. It took a while, but I got him all together, and I decided I'm going to paint him together rather than apart. If you watch my other tutorials, I usually paint most of my models in pieces and then assemble. This one I decided because of the blends and the colors I wanted to do, I assembled them all. What you're seeing here me apply with my airbrush is just a base coat of white, Snow White from Minotaur Badger paint line. Worked really good, just painted the whole thing white, and then we're going to move on from there. Alright, next what we're going to do once we have it all painted white and primed is we're going to go with Minotaur Badger's airbrush line of coal. It's a little gray black. It's not quite black like the Raven black, but it's a gray one, and that's what I decided to coat the entire body with after the prime. So the majority of his body is going to be this coal kind of grayish color. Sorry guys, I keep getting him out of frame a little bit. I tried to zoom in to give you the details on this thing. This model has some amazing details, and my camera just wasn't quite picking it up with the lighting, but I'm working on it, and so I apologize that he keeps going in and out of frame while I'm airbrushing him. Alright, next I'm going to use Minotaur Badger's airbrush line of a purple called ecchymosis, which is a bruise. It's a medical terminology for a bruise, so I thought it was kind of appropriate. And so we're going to use this purple, we're going to blend it in a little bit right in here in the wings to give it a kind of a demon look. If you look at the picture in Games Workshop, they've kind of done a little purple like that, and so that's what I did. So what I did with the purple is I'm only going to go to the bottoms of the wings about midway up. Not the whole entire wing, but just the bottom of the wing, halfway up. I'm using a real low air pressure here, less than 10 psi to use it. I'm using a Patriot 105 airbrush just to give that nice little blend, and then we're going to go back and kind of blend in the rest of the colors. Next up is a badger fur. It's an airbrush paint, and it's a light gray. And what I did with this, and I'm sorry I didn't get it on camera, my battery died right away. But what I did was I just got the chest and a little bit of the face, and I just kind of faded it in, just enough to give it a lighter texture. And there'll be a picture of it here, just a minute down the road here on the video. Alrighty, next is Citadel's. It's a layer. It's an Auric armor gold, and we're going to use that on all of his armor. Actually, he doesn't have a whole lot of it. Usually right where his thigh is, and kind of where his gauntlets for his arms. It's a different kind of gold than I'm going to use on the rings and the chains, as you're going to see here in a minute, but that's all I did with it. You can also see the little gray that I was talking about earlier in the video when my camera died, but I just dusted the front of his chest, a little bit on the face, and on the other side, just give it a lighter tone to his body rather than just all dark gray and coal. For the silver, I used Privateer Press's gunmetal gray, and I just went over the chains, the part of the sword, and the hooks that are on his wings that lakor has. It's really hard to pick up on camera, this model. It's really cool looking the way that he has all these evil hooks and chains and nasty things that are with him. Well, he's the first Deamon Prince of Chaos, after all. He should look pretty mean. Okay, for the last gold color that I use, I'm going to try to say it without slaughtering it too much, but it's a Citadel Gania's gold, or Gania's, or something along those lines. It's a lighter gold, I'm sorry guys, lighter gold, and that's what I used on his rings and little piercings that he has in his wings and in his horns and things like that. It's not the same as the Auric armor gold. It's a little bit lighter color, and that's yeah, all over his little bits that would being pierced, and yeah, that kind of stuff. Lakor has a lot of these little chains and hooks with piercings and skulls hanging down from both the front of him and the back of him on his wings, so it's going to take you a little bit to get all these chains in. So you're going to be working a lot with silvers and some Nolan oil, as you'll see here in a minute, and things like that to wash it. Be careful not to get it on the wings, because we're going to use a different wash for that. Alrighty, now we're going to paint the skulls, and for this I used skull white, and I painted all the skulls with the skull white, then I went over it with a Ceresepia wash, and then I let that dry with an Agrath Erg Shades. That seems to be my specialty for skulls. I like that. I picked that up from Austin for Brush for Hire, so I gotta give props to him. I saw him doing a video and I really like it, and I've been doing it ever since then. So all the skulls skull white, and then that little mixture of your wash, and your skulls will look good and faded and old. Okay, well, I'm finishing up the skulls. What I did before this was I took Citadel's Nightshade Blue wash, and I washed the entire model over the gray, over the body, over the wings with the purple, and it really blended in that purple right up into that coal and black, and just kind of thinned everything out and kind of matched the color and gave it that nice blend. It also went inside of his ab lines and underneath his armor, gave that nice thing. For all of the armor pieces, both gold and silver, I used Nolan oil, which is another Games Workshop wash, and that's basically it. And then we're almost done with the model. Well, guys, here's Be'lakor, the first Deamon Prince of Chaos in all of his glory. Like I said, I did just little bit of things that I didn't get on video, but I dry brushed some white over the highlight over his face and his horns. Washed him, like I said earlier, and then I made a custom base. He did not come with a base, so I just grabbed a disc from Hobby Lobby and did some airbrushing on that. It's actually inspired by Mini Wargaming Dave's base on his Be'lakor. I kind of like that, and so tried to reproduce it. But that's it. There's Be'lakor, quick and easy. Took me less than 2 or 3 hours to do, and that's something easy, fast, that anybody else can do. Any amateur or professional, for that matter. There's Be'lakor, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions.